This is model car racing, the most popular indoor hobby sport in America today. The cars you're watching now are Thunderjets by Aurora. They're only about 2 inches long. That's HO scale. The next size up is 1/32nd scale, much bigger. HO gives you twice the action in half the space.
So what's going on, guys? We're back in here with another video. I was just talking to someone about old school toys and stuff like that, and it's a topic that comes up in the slot car forums online, and probably the model train ones also. And most of the guys are convinced that kids would not have any interest in these because they're hooked on video games. And I say there's some truth to that. I think that with competition, the market was, destined to decline somewhat. But I don't think that's the sole reason. I mean, there's competition. You have video games, DVD players. Somebody might be interested in movies, and radio controlled cars, which I don't really see taken away from it. I mean, maybe it could, but I believe the biggest thing that hurts slot cars is marketing. Like when I was a kid back in the 70s, you saw a lot of, around Christmas time, AFX, Tyco commercials. It was a constant barrage of them. And I still love those. I still watch them. You can, like this here. This, you can see the guy's name down there. I'm going to link the video because I'm not going to watch the whole video. You can go give him a watch, give him some views. And I love these commercials, the Night Glow commercials and all that. They don't do that anymore, and I understand why, because the market is too small, and the cost of a commercial probably is more than what they make in a year. TV ads are extremely expensive, and as far as like AFX, they don't have that Aurora money anymore. Aurora's out of business, so they definitely can't do it. I don't think Auto World or Carrera, Scale Electric, they don't have them. Scale Electric is Hornby is their parent company. Now I still don't think they have enough money for TV commercials. But I think that's the biggest thing is marketing. That reminded me of a movie they used to play a lot back in the HBO, Showtime, Cinemax days. It was called Campus Man, and the guy had a calendar with athletes, and he was trying to sell it to the girly girls, and it didn't sell. So he goes to his professor. The guy was brilliant, but he was one of those guys, he didn't want to go through the whole course. So his professor was telling him, well, because you didn't stay for the other part of the course, marketing. Who's going to buy your product if they don't know that it exists? And I think that's the biggest thing with these types of toys, is they don't know it exists. And what made me think that is when I set up a track during Christmas time, the kids love it. Like a few Christmases back, before the beer bug of unknown origin plagued the earth, I set up a track at my cousin's house, and they were on it. Now, one of my cousin's son, he's a teenager, which I find rare. Usually the little kids like it, between 5 and 10, what I call the age of fascination. They love that stuff. When they get beyond 10, 11, 12, they usually don't take to it. But this guy did. He just, I mean, the entire day. And good thing I had some extra pickup shoes with me. He just wore it out. And I had a train set that, I had 2 train sets that I gave away because the kids, when they saw it, they wanted it. And one Carrera set that was I think it was the biggest one they had at the time. It had 3 cars. It was a digital set. It was like 4 and some change. It's almost 500 by the time they shipped it. It was like the largest set they had, and I bought an expansion pack to make it a little bit bigger. And one of my other cousins, his sons, he entire day. And in each case, there was a video game console nearby, PlayStation, Xbox, and it got no love. So that leads me to believe that the main thing is they've never seen it before. Like on Camus Man, you can't buy something that you don't know it exists. And that's the problem. That's part of the problem. You know, I would expect it to shrink again, because of competition. The market's going to shrink. The same thing with movies at the movie theater. There's more competition, so movie theaters, the ticket sales, the prices have gone up, but the amount of people going to the theaters have decreased. And that's just the nature of the beast. So that, to me, that is the main reason. And I think the way to overcome that, they're going to have to, Instagram and TikTok are the main places where the young heads are. Maybe set up a track during Christmas time, set up some tracks at the larger malls. Maybe pay a teenager to sit there. And add a little rinky-dink track, you know, something. You're tracking some sets, you know, have a display so people can see it. Like one time, like this show, I went to the train show last week, train and toy show last week, and there were no slot cars there, no manufacturers or anything. But a few years ago, again, before the beer bug of unknown origin plagued the earth, Hornsby was there. This was like right before Christmas time, during the November show. I think that's when they show up, is November, because that is the Christmas season, beginning of the Christmas season shopping. And Hornsby was there, so they had a display of a lot of trains and their slot car sets. And AFX was there. I think Steve Russell was there with a set, and people stop by. Oh man, I didn't know you guys were still in business. You know, the same thing. Like you see it in the forums on Facebook. Oh, I didn't know you guys were still in business. I thought they stopped making these things, because they don't know that it exists. But again, can't get mad at them for not having the money to do it. But I think there's I think the best way to get around that is TikTok and Instagram, because that's where the kids are. Also, when I was talking to the guy at from Hornsby, he was saying they were working on software where if you had the same layout, you could race each other over the internet, which that would be like super cool if they can get that to work. But I don't think they got that to work. But I think if they were smart, that maybe a joint venture, like what GM and Ford got together to make the 10-speed transmission. Something like that. They get together, pool their resources, and there's no reason why they all can't use the same technology, which would help the fans or the customer. That's something I always hated with video media. They had all these format wars, and that stuff does not help the customer one bit. Just get together, whoever has the best stuff, this is what we're going to make. And that would help them out. They all use it. And HO guys, you guys got to step your game on. AFX, Auto World, you guys got to get more innovative. I know they're hurting with the money, but like again, maybe some collaboration, and they have to embrace technology. I mean, there are, like say if they went digital, maybe work with Slide It and use their, what they call it, Oxygen. Just use that. It already exists. I mean, there's no need to. I mean, I'm quite sure they would license it for a decent fee. I mean, it would be in their interest to get more of their product out there. That, and like I said, that software that Hornsby was working on, where you could race. If you have the same layout, that would help because kids are on the internet, and maybe you don't have anyone to race, so you get online, where they like to hang out, and you can race somebody from somewhere else. You might be in Chicago, and there's a guy in Ohio with the same layout, and you guys can race each other over the internet. That would be the bomb if they can get that off. And I was at let me. At Barnes and Noble, and here's the rack, the crafts and hobbies rack. As you can see, there's quite a bit of scale model magazines and railroad. They don't want to act right. And also, there's no notice there was no slot car magazines there. And I did a search, and there's really no magazines out there other than this isn't a magazine. Yeah, this is the one here. So I don't know if they publish an actual magazine that could be sold in the market, or is it just online? I think I saw another one. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, printed copies, PDF. So I don't know if they circulate any in the U.S. And the location I was at, that was a Barnes & Noble's in Eatontown. And I went to one in, I don't know if that's Springfield or Mountainside. I'm not sure which town it was, but they also didn't have any spot car magazines there. So that doesn't help. And maybe they don't sell well. I don't know. It's not a good sign. Anyway, I was just kicking around some ideas, and maybe they could. I would think that if they want to get out there. Another thing I was thinking about, let's say if, make myself bigger. Let's say if they hooked up with a video game company, and if you bought the physical car, you can unlock the car in the game. You know, something like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing around some ideas. I know that's never going to happen, but that would be cool if it did. Like if you want to unlock, you know, Racer X, you got to go buy the car first, and you can unlock that car. You know, something like that. But bottom line, they're going to have to embrace technology a little bit more and find ways to market themselves. And another thing that comes up in the forums is the cars cost too much and this and that. I'm like BS, because a DCC engine can cost as much as an entire set. That's just an engine, one locomotive, and they sell. Those locomotives sell. So you're trying to tell me that a whole set, or just a single car, people are turned off by the price? Yeah, maybe some are. It can't be that, because model railroading is more expensive, but is vastly larger than the slot car market. That's just the bottom line. So that's something I find interesting. This one costs a lot more. Same thing with RC racing. I used to race 8th scale cars, and this was like in the 90s, and a BMT chassis was like $6 and some change. That's without the motor. You got to get the motor, the body. So you're looking somewhere around $1,000. No, that doesn't include the servos and the radio. So that's over $1,000. And if you do 10 scale electric, like a Tamiya model, the car is like $200, then you have to get a motor. Let's just say that's $50. You got to get a battery, which I don't know how much they cost now, but let's say that's $25. The radio. So anyway, you're still looking at over $500 for one car. So it's got to be more to it than just the price. That's why I didn't agree with that assessment, because there are other hobbies similar to it that cost more money, but people buy it. So I don't know. Maybe like we said, to shut up the shops at some of the larger malls, track, you know, display something, but. You guys have some ideas. I'll drop a comment below. No, I don't want to long stroke it. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.